What up? What's going on, y'all? Oh man. All right. Oh man. We figure this shit out. What's good? What's good? Nah, you didn't miss it. I've been doing some other stuff. I apologize. I'm sorry. D12. What's good? Hold on. Let me make sure my shit is up. There you go. What's good with you, brother?
I'm trying to understand the problem. I'm a little confused. My bad.
What are you confused about?
It says marriage enslaves women. Okay. When I read it out, it makes a little bit more sense. Okay, never mind. Marriage enslaves women. It should be abolished.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, bad. I kind of read it different, and then when I said it out loud, it made sense. My bad.
What did you? How did you read it?
I felt like there was a comma or a pause. Like I thought he was like marriage and then enslaves, and then it was like I was just like, what?
Oh,
never mind. It didn't sound. Once I said it out loud, I was like, oh, it's just one sentence. Okay, never mind. My bad.
No.
Men.
Wait a minute, Ken. The D12 is up here before you.
My bad. I don't think I agree with that. I mean, it could.
Okay. Why don't you disagree with? I mean, why do you disagree with it?
Because a marriage is a choice. So if you choose to be with somebody on paperwork, then you're not forced. So it shouldn't be any type of slavery if you're not forced to do it. It's based off, definition.
Okay. What is the history of marriage?
I don't know. There's so many different ones. Like, what's your history that you're gonna bring up?
My history or the history? You can just say you don't know. It's okay. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah. So the origins of marriage was simply to it's a way for men to secure or to exchange property, right? So it was
I don't disagree with that.
So and the property was the woman.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that.
Yeah. So so it would be like talking about the origins of policing in America, right? And if the police in America were how did they start in America? Do you know?
I wouldn't know that either.
Yeah, they were slave catchers.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Right? Yeah. So policing in America was founded on slave catching. That was the first, they would be considered what the first police officers were.
Cool, got
you. So hear me here. This is what I'm saying. If the root is of the policing in this country, if slave patrol, fast forward to 2024 and we see how the police treat black people and other marginalized groups of people, but specifically black people, right? Legally, they're not rounding up slaves anymore, right? Legal, right? So it wasn't, but are they not still? Are they not still an arm or an arm of the oppressive system?
They are part of the oppressive system.
Okay. Yeah. So your point doesn't mean anything. Saying like, oh, well, because it's a choice and that means it's not slave. Like, no, that doesn't negate what I'm saying at all.
I mean, the origins. I mean, let's say the origins is cool. I mean, it's not cool, but the origins is the origin. But it's still a choice, though. It's not forced on.
Yeah, it's not forced. We are conditioned to be married. Right?
Okay.
We're conditioned to be married. Nothing. I mean, we have free will, right? So technically, like crime is a choice, right? But you don't have to commit a crime, right? But if they put you in extreme poverty, are you more? Huh?
you're more likely to commit a crime to survive. Correct.
Exactly. So saying it's a choice, like it doesn't, you know what I mean? Like just saying something is a choice doesn't mean anything. You know what I'm saying? Like if the choices, if you don't know any better, or if the choices are or the way that society conditions you leads you to, do X, Y, and Z, then did you really have a choice?
I mean, you just be uneducated, but you still have a choice. Yeah. Well, okay. Let me ask you this: then, what would be your what's the word I'm trying to use? Solution or other option? Just do whatever you want, like relationships.
Say that again. What would be my solution to not being married?
Yeah, do you believe in relationships, or is it like the marriage?
Yeah, of course I believe in relationships.
But you just don't believe in the marriage part.
I'm talking about the institution of marriage. Yeah, I'm married, by the way. Like I'm a married man. I don't, and the way the society is set, the same thing with the police. Like I would call the police if need be, right? Because it's the best. It's the best thing I got right now. It's the, you know what I mean? Like in this system, you might have to call the fucking police. You get into a car accident and you need to report. You're gonna have to call the police. If something gets stolen from your house, you're gonna have to call the police. You need to fill out a report. Whatever the case may be, right? Like that's the way the system. It's like there are certain things you have to do if you want certain accommodations and certain protections, right? So I'm married under that guise, but the institution of marriage, right? The institution of marriage at its core is wrong.
So as I'm saying, you say we should abolish it and then do what? Just be.
What do you need to replace it with?
So as I'm saying, just you talking about.
You don't need to. Yeah, you don't need to replace marriage with anything. It doesn't. Like we don't need anything like it for us to.
Just have no. But doesn't marriage? And correct me, I'm generally asking. Right?
Yeah.
Wouldn't marriage protect certain parties? Like when you usually get married and you get divorced, don't certain people who have to split things and you have a 401k, don't your wife become your beneficiary and stuff like that? Don't it?
Yeah, why do you? I mean, you're acting like we just as a society could just say, you don't, whoever you want to give your 401k to, you can give it to. They don't have to be your wife.
You're right.
Right? So it's not like it's not like we control that. We can just say as a society, like, okay, get rid of marriage, and then if whoever I'm with at that time, if I want to say, yeah, give my 401k to the last woman I'm with, and give my 401k to the last woman I'm with.
But I kind of go back on my point now. So say you're dealing with a woman, right? And y'all in a relationship, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever you want to call it, right?
Yeah.
And you pass away and you didn't put her on your 401k, she would miss the benefit if you never made it a beneficiary. But once you automatically get married, she's automatically the first beneficiary. So that would be a benefit. That's at least one.
I'm married. I understand. Like, once again, I understand the benefits to being married. I'm not saying that every part of marriage is wrong or every part of marriage is bad. I'm saying that the root of marriage is rooted in the idea of enslaving women. That's all I'm saying. And that nowadays you still see it playing out largely, even though, like you said, it's quote unquote a choice. It doesn't matter if it's a choice. The women still suffer.
In what ways?
They get abused. They suffer financially. They get abused more.
That's per person though.
It's not. It's the majority of women get abused in relationships, in marriages specifically.
Okay. Because they're married or because they're married? I mean, because they're in a relationship?
Both. The abuse goes up when you're married. It doesn't go down. It goes up when you're married.
How so?
What do you mean, how so?
How does me abusing someone because how come I'll abuse someone more because we're married versus when we're just boyfriend, girlfriend?
Because you have more control over them. They're tied to you more. They're tethered to you more.
Financially, but they can just pick up and leave.
It's not it's more than financially.
How other way are they connected to me?
You can't just leave somebody if you're married. You got to go get paperwork.
You can separate yourself. I'm talking about physically.
I'm not talking about physically only, though.
Yes, so when you get up, you got to separate on paperwork, but I can still leave if you hit me.
Where are you getting that from?
Why can't
Do you think that the only form of abuse is physical violence?
Abuse can be physically, verbally. If someone's abusing
financially,
if someone's doing that, do they not have the opportunity to get up and go get their own place?
That's hard. That's hard to do. That's what I'm telling you. It's easier. It's easier to do if you're not married.
But it's still a choice,
sir. You saying stuff is a choice is like saying slavery is a choice. I don't care. No, that doesn't make your point.
Slavery wasn't a choice, though.
It was a choice. It was.
Okay.
Based on your logic, slavery was a choice.
How was slavery a choice?
Because they could have chosen not to be slaves and just killed themselves. So they could have. The slaves could have literally just sat down in the field and just been like, "Nope, we're not working today." And then whatever happened to them happened to them. They could have done that. That's a choice. Like, stop saying things are a choice. It's not. That's irrelevant. Like, I know, I understand free will, brother. I do. But saying something is a choice, the only way you can say something is a choice is if the repercussions, like when you say something is a choice to me, it's like, well, there's no repercussions to doing X, Y, and Z. It's just, yeah, you could just leave anytime you want to. It ain't like that man got any ties to you. It ain't like, you know what I'm saying? It ain't like you got to go down there and get this man to sign paperwork and blah, 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? You got to do all of these things. No. It's not like that. No, that's exactly what it's like. So you are more connected to that person than you've ever been if you weren't married. And typically men know that, they take advantage of that, and then they abuse women more. It's documented. I don't know what you like. It's not my opinion about it. That's what happens.
I got you. I'm just talking.
No, me too. I'm just telling you because you're acting like as if like, well, it's on a case by case basis, or it's not. I mean, it's just generally speaking.
Listen, I got you. To me, it is, but to you, it's not. Cool.
No, sir. You have to understand that something. Do you understand the term objective truth?
No, go ahead and explain to me.
Yeah. So objective truth is, for all intents and purposes, it's like a verifiable thing, like a verifiable truth, right? This is not
argumentative. I got you.
So what I'm saying is, it has been studied. It is well documented. It's not my truth. It's not your truth. It's the truth. I didn't say it happens to all women. I'm just saying, like, it happens to the rate of abuse goes up in a marriage. The rate of abuse goes up when women are pregnant. These are well documented, like beyond well documented at this point, right? That's what I'm saying. So that's what it is.
I got you.
And if you don't know why that is, then that's, you know what I mean? Like, that's what we got to get to the bottom of, but that's what I've been trying to explain to you. Tyrone, what's up, brother?
I guess when your mom's invited me up. Yeah. But I was just reading, but marriage enslaves women and should be abolished. I don't think it does.
Okay.
I think if you want to get married, that's your choice. Mm-hmm. There's nobody chaining you down and saying you have to do this, at least not in this day and age, you know?
So what is the benefit of getting married?
To the man or the woman?
In the institution of marriage, it doesn't matter to man or woman. It's the same benefits.
Fair enough. I mean, honestly, I don't know. I'm not married. I'm only 25. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I'm going to get married, honestly. Mm-hmm. Personally, I don't see any value in marriage for myself, but I don't knock people that do see value in it because, you know, my opinion is my own. I don't force my views on anybody.
I mean, that's not what this is, but what I'm asking you.
100%, I'm just making a decision.
Yeah, so you don't know, like, that 12, the 12 kind of mentioned it. He was talking about, like, you know, like, where's your 401k going to go to after you pass and da-da-da-da. So that would be like a benefit for a man or a woman in a marriage, right? That I could leave my pension to my wife, or I could leave my pension, or I could leave my pension to my wife, or my wife could leave her pension with me, right?
I mean, yeah, but you don't really have to be my wife. Like,
yes, you do.
I could be with somebody 12 years.
You do.
Never married them.
You do.
Like,
you do.
Really love them.
You don't. Right? Tyrone, stop. You don't. You do have to be married for that to happen.
I mean, I'm not trying to be disingenuous. I'm really like,
yeah. I'm
trying to learn. You
I know.
what I'm saying?
I'm saying. So I'm telling you that you don't. That you don't. That you do have to be married to get to get that benefit. Yeah.
Okay.
So that would be a benefit that would favor either man or woman. It wouldn't favor one or the other. It would favor either one, right? And so if I wanted to give my pension to somebody after I passed away outside of my kids, I'm saying I would have to get married. So when you say it's a choice, it's like, okay, but if they're not leaving you any other option in some major ways, then is it really a choice?
You got me there. Honestly, you got me there. I have to think about that one. Honestly.
Yeah. And why don't you want to get married?
Me?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I just haven't found the right person.
I mean, that's different though. But why don't you want to get married? What about the institution of marriage turned you off?
I just don't see any benefit. I see it as the woman could leave and take my shit. Like, as toxic as that sounds, that's like what's going on and what I've been seeing.
That's not what you've been seeing.
I mean, it's the experiences I'm seeing from
a lot of people. No, you haven't. No, you haven't.
That's just
you haven't seen that. You haven't seen it. I promise you haven't. You mean you've heard men, you mean you've been hearing men, hold on. You mean you've been hearing men regurgitate that. You haven't seen that though. You don't know, you know zero about it. I guarantee you. You don't know what the numbers are. You don't know the likelihood that a woman or a man gets alimony. You don't know how much alimony is paid. You don't know if courts favor men or women. You know nothing about it whatsoever. You've never seen it before. You don't know anything about it. I promise you. I know you don't, because you wouldn't even be saying it if you did. So basically what you've been seeing is a bunch of men gaslight you. And you just been believing that shit. Yeah, be honest. Be honest. You've never seen it. You haven't been to court. You haven't looked up no studies on it. Nothing. So at best, you've seen a TikTok of some dude saying, oh man, I got divorced and she cleaned me. At best, that's what you got. At best. I doubt you even seen that, to be honest with you. But at best, that's what you got.
I mean, my own research-wise, I don't really go that in depth to it. You are correct. I won't be disingenuous and lie about that, because I know some people would try to cap about it. At most, you're right. I do just consume a lot of podcasts and like debates such as this, and I do go off a lot of anecdotal
evidence. Yeah. You don't. So why did you?
You're correct there. I haven't done like my own solid research. I've been going off of mostly anecdotal from what I've been hearing. So you're not wrong there.
Yeah. And I know that I know why. Like you know how I knew you never looked, because if you actually studied it, you wouldn't say what you just said. That's how I know. So like I implore you to do your own studying, and once you do it, then you will see like, oh damn, he was right. It's not what I thought it was. It's not what these idiots on these podcasts are saying it is.
To the people calling me red pill, I am no pill. I am my own person with my own opinions. Yeah. Do not call me red pill, please.
What podcast do you consume that told you that marriages are bad for men? Name the podcast.
I don't watch it anymore because
name it.
They're toxic. But it was
Fresh and Fit. Yeah, so that's red pill. That's extreme red pill content. Toxic. Yeah, but that's red pill. That's red pill content at its worst, and you consumed it, a copious amount of it. You have been red pilled. You're repeating red pill. You're regurgitating red pill talking points. You are red pilled. That's what it means. You could say you're not, but you are repeating the things that they taught you. You are red pill. What else do you call it?
Hey, I'm gonna drop down. I wanted to say thank you for having me up here. I'm gonna do some more research.
Okay.
You can follow though.
Yes, sir. Yep. Cool. Yeah. You are red pill, Tyrone. Just so you know. Now, if you don't want to be red pilled, then all you got to do to not be red pilled is to go actually study anything on your own, and you won't be red pilled. Like if you actually study this stuff, it's impossible to be red pilled, because when you get correct information on this, you quickly see that people like Fresh and Fit are just fucking lying to you. They're gaslighting you.
I know, most definitely. After I did my research on them, that's why I stopped consuming their like rhetoric, because after a while, it really was them just hating women. And
after a while, or the whole time?
It took me a while. I was younger when I first started to watch them. I was like, I don't know, like 20, maybe like 20, 21. I was younger.
That's right when they get you. Nice and susceptible.
More impressionable for sure. But yeah, you gotta learn in life, like some influences, just you ain't supposed to follow those types of influences, So
what podcast do you listen to now?
I just mainly be on TikTok, going through the what's it called?
Yeah, the live.
Yeah, pretty much. That's really all I consume nowadays.
Okay.
But I'm mostly in school, so I don't consume a lot nowadays, either which way.
Yeah, I don't think so. Marriages were created to benefit men, and even right now, marriages still benefit men more than women. They never benefited women, but now, with since they have given women more autonomy and kind of like revised a lot of the rules of the marriage, they've tweaked it. There's, like I said, there's like, it doesn't overall benefit women, but there are benefits in there for women. But the benefits are they're manufactured. They're not real. You know what I'm saying? It's not like marriage intrinsically has this value. It doesn't. It doesn't intrinsically have value. The value is manufactured. So like I was telling the other gentleman, if they just changed the rules and we're like, yep, you can do the same thing, you know what I'm saying, in a, with documents or whatever, as you could in a marriage, then what's the difference? Right? Because the relationship is the relationship. That's a totally different thing. The relationship is the relationship.
I hear you.
Right? You don't need the marriage to have the relationship. Correct?
100%.
Yeah. So the relationship is the relationship. It's not that. It's the other stuff that comes along with being married or whatever, the paperwork and and all of those things. Antoine said, forget about this. You should debate Cooley and Yada in a triple threat. In a triple threat match, that would be epic. Then on the Candace Owens, then finally Dr. Umar. I don't know, man. I don't know if they'll actually have me. But okay. I want to make sure that Brown Eyed Diva gets a chance to respond, and then we go back to open panel. Go ahead, Brown Eyed Diva.
Hi, good evening, public. How you doing?
Doing great.
Marriage enslaves women and should be abolished. Correct. And I just wanted to say something because the other gentleman that was up here and this gentleman that are up here I think young, and so let's just reiterate what we know to be true about marriage and in general and how it is presented to women. They know, and we all know, that from the time that we're little girls, women are told that we should be married. This is something that is ingrained in us. This is something that is expected of us. And when we get to a certain age, it's even thrown at us as a defeat if we are not married by a certain age. So this is something, like you said, that is done to us, that even though it's a choice, it is something that is conditioned in us to want, right, as women. And also as men, to force upon women. And we know this. So I don't understand why we these guys come up here with these conversations about marriage as if they don't understand that marriage at first was a trap for women because we were traded back and forth from our father to our husband as chattel when we were younger. And then now women are forced into marriages because of societal norms, like what society says we should be doing.
I think that's a part of it. But women are also forced into it, like I said, because if they want to get, there are certain things you can only get if you're married. There's only, you know what I mean? Like, you have to get married. There's no paperwork. There's nothing you can do. You have to be married.
And first, it's religion. If you are religious, it's forced upon you. You have to be married. You have to do this. And all men know that. They know that. So we it's, to me, it's like whenever you come on here and you're discussing these topics with men, I never understand why they try to gaslight you, because you are a man, so you know. Mm-hmm. So why they're trying to lie to you, I just don't get it. Like, I could see if you were a woman and then come up here. Yeah, we can debate back and forth. But if a man comes up here and tells the truth about something that he knows to be true, why do men get up here, and the guy that you have down, you should answer this question, try to come up here and act like they don't know what you're talking about? If you could answer that, sir.
Tyrone, she's asking you a question.
Tyrone, come on, answer for me, because
I'm sorry, I was.
Like you don't know what's going on with marriage.
That's why I was muted. Can you repeat the question, please?
I just want to know, because Public comes up here on a nightly basis. He's been gone for a little while, and I watch his lives all the time. He has these prompts, and you guys, men in general, get up here and try to gaslight all of us like you guys are confused or you don't understand or that's not the truth. And I'm why are you guys using your energy to try to debate him when you know he's a man and he's telling the truth?
I mean, I can't speak for anybody else. I usually don't speak on lives. I usually just am a viewer, and I may have an opinion or two in the comments if I do have an opinion. Yeah. But I usually don't come up. I am a huge believer in other people's perspectives. That's why I'm so interested in watching all types of live, even if I don't necessarily agree with the content. Like, if it's not exactly my opinion, especially if I'm not that educated on it, because knowledge is power, in my opinion. And the more I know, the more I can discern and I can conduct myself more properly in this world.
Why do you think men, though? Why do you think men? So just speak in general, because you're a man. Why do you think men don't own up to things they know to be true? Because we know this is true.
Personally, I think it's pride. I think men have a lot of pride and ego in them, and it's hard for some of us to look past it. I am very guilty of that myself. I am very prideful, very egotistic sometimes. I try not to let it blind me, but a lot of men do have issues, I guess.
I think the ego definitely plays a big part on the back end. But I think the reason you came up here to say what you said initially is because men have to keep this lie going, right? Men have to keep this lie going that marriages benefit women. And even though you haven't looked it up, you don't know much about marriage, the institution of it, your knee-jerk response is if you see something like this, is to say, no, that's not true. I don't think that's true. Right? Because you are programmed to defend the patriarchy. That's what you're programmed to do as a man. Right? I think the vast majority of men ardently defend the patriarchy, and most men, you know, and the rest of men, you know, whatever, the majority of the rest of men passively defend it. You know what I'm saying? But I think that's why you initially came up here. Why once we have the discussion and then you realize like, oh shit, I don't know what I'm talking about, and why you just wouldn't concede. And I'm not saying this to you, but to anybody that wouldn't, that's when the pride would come in. You know what I'm saying? But initially, it's not the pride. Initially, it's because you just said, oh, I don't even think I'm ever, I don't think I'm ever gonna get married. I see you, Tyrone.
I'm so sorry about that, Public. I got a call in the middle of what you were saying.
So oh, okay.
I middle part.
Yeah, I was saying, what was the last thing you heard?
Knee-jerk reaction.
Okay, so you have a knee-jerk reaction when you see stuff like this. You go, oh shit, like I gotta, you know what I'm saying? Like I have to defend this, right? Because you are programmed to protect the patriarchy as a man. Like men are programmed to protect, you know, the cult, right? Like that's what we do. And like with little knowledge, with little thought on the topic, with little information, you came up here and you did. I mean, you know, somebody invited you up, but you were in the comments at first, whatever. But whatever you felt like that because of that programming, right? And you came up here. That's why you did it. Like that's literally why you did it. And then on the back end, if you weren't being as receptive as you are, it's 100% rooted in your pride. As you know what I'm saying? At that point, it's just your pride, right? To your point. I think the ego is on the back end. But initially, I don't think it was your ego. I don't think your ego was hurt by this. I think it was that whatever that underlining like desire to protect the patriarchy that exists in most men, that shit was in you. And this shit hit it, and you was like, oh shit, I gotta defend it. Oh, that's crazy. I've never heard that before. What you mean? I think marriages I think marriages benefit women, and you know what I'm saying, or whatever. And yeah, that's what it is. Hold on, Diva. Hold on, real quick, Diva. Hold on, let him respond real quick because I was addressing him directly, and then you can go.
You're spitting, bro. Like what you're saying is really hitting my brain right now, and like it's like, damn, you know, I always did have like a knee-jerk reaction whenever I hear something like this. Like I really do just kind of jump into it, like, nah, that can't be true.
Yeah. It feels weird, huh? Like reading that feels weird. Like, wait, that's crazy. Like that's the reaction. That's what most men. That I would 5 years ago, I would have looked at that and been like, what? That's crazy. You know what I mean? So I get it. Go ahead, Diva.
I was just asking, like, do you think that men do they really believe in the male loneliness epidemic right now and how women are not getting married because we've come to realize that marriage is not beneficial to us. So I'm trying to figure out, what do they think about those two issues?
Are you asking me or him?
I'm asking you.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
What do you think? Do men actually really believe that there is a male loneliness epidemic, and do they understand that it's there because of women have realized that marriage is a trap?
No, the men haven't realized that it's them that's causing the male loneliness epidemic. They're blaming the women. Right? They're saying like, oh, see, that's why you should never give women jobs. That's why you should never give women that's why you never should have given women fucking the ability to drive. Like so they can drive away and leave it. You know what I mean? Like that's what their mind goes, as opposed to it being like, why do women want to leave you so bad? Zoe 060, you come up, brother. I would invite you up, but you got your invites off. I would love you can have this conversation too. This shit is made, it's just for you. But yeah, so that's what men are mostly facing is like that's what men mostly are facing. That's the problem. That's wild. That's the issue. It's they blame the women. It's displaced anger. So they blame the women, but in reality it's them. They just don't want to take any responsibility for them being the problem. So they keep going, well, damn, see, that's women going to college. Since you got all your fucking degrees and you don't need a nigga no more, you buy, oh, see, you can buy a house on your own. What you need me for? Like if they do that, as opposed to being like, well, maybe my value should be more rooted in the type of person that I am and what I bring to the relationship from a, maybe perhaps from an emotional standpoint. Or
I never did understand that whole getting mad that your partner's doing good thing. Like, don't you want them to do good?
You may Tyrone, but a lot of men don't. They don't want them to do too good because men are programmed to think that when women make more money than them or whatever, then it's all right. The same way men understand consent when you talk about like men going to prison, right? So when you talk about the graping of men, all of a sudden we can understand consent, right? A man that identifies as gay hitting on a cishet man, the cishet man is like, what you doing, man? I don't want now he understands consent. Hey man, get away from me, man. Like right now we get it, right? Okay, cool. That's the same way men are when it comes to this, when we're talking about this stuff. It's men when it comes to like why men think like this is I'm trying to figure out how to say this right. Men just don't they don't think that women would be faithful to them if women become more successful. We are programmed to think that if a woman makes more money than us, she is going to leave us.
Okay, now that you said that, that is the exact ideology that put me off of like the fresh and fit shit. Cause they were really pushing that whole when a woman gets successful, blah blah blah, she's gonna leave you, blah 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 blah. I'm like,
yeah,
that don't even make no sense.
It doesn't make sense.
Like, if that woman was gonna leave you, she was gonna leave you from the jump. It doesn't matter if they're successful, not successful. Like, if they're gonna leave you, they're gonna leave you. It doesn't matter if they're successful or not. You know, like that really like.
I'm gonna get to you right now.
That put me on that train of like, yeah, this probably isn't the ideal I should be putting into my brain. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to be careful with that. Zoe, what's good with you, man? Oh, my bad. Avoni, I'm sorry. What's up, man? Go ahead, brother. I'm listening.
So, marriage enslaves women and should be abolished. I think that marriage can enslave women. I don't think that it functions to enslave women. I think it depends on I think it depends on how it happens. So, like, within the context of the marriage, and then sometimes even the context of the society that you're dealing with. So, yeah, generally, I just disagree because I think saying marriage enslaves women and should be abolished is just logically false because it just overgeneralizes, and I think it misattributes the source of equality to marriage instead of like how people construct their marriage or how society constructs a marriage.
So I did this earlier, but I'll ask you this question. Do you know how policing started in America?
I might be wrong about this, but I believe it started with policing like enslaved people.
Catching slaves, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Would you say that though we don't have that type of slavery anymore, we do have a form of slavery, but we don't have that type of slavery anymore? Would you say that even though that type of slavery has been abolished, are the police that much different than they used to be back when they were commissioned to catch slaves? You think policing looks vastly different than it did 300 years ago?
No, I think there's some consistencies, some consistent elements.
Yeah. So the institution at its core was founded, as a means of oppression, right?
You saying marriage was founded as a means?
No, hold on, wait, stay with me. I'm still talking about slave. I'm talking about policing in America.
Okay.
Yeah. So at its core, policing was it was founded on oppression.
Okay.
Correct? Okay. And fast forward to 2024, is it still not an oppressive institution?
Yeah.
Okay. Is it as oppressive as it was 300, 400 years ago, 250 years ago, whenever?
Some people might argue yes, some might argue not.
I would say no. I would say it's not.
Okay.
Right? But is it still oppressive? Is my question.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
Okay.
You had an analysis of it. Someone could conclude it's oppressive, or oppressive things are still happening.
No, it is. No. That's what I'm saying. It is oppressive still. At its foundation, it's still oppressive.
Oh, yeah, I believe that. I'm just saying, like, I don't know if everybody believes.
I'm asking. No,
that.
I know this. You don't have to answer for everybody. It's
Okay.
a fact. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can just answer with facts. You don't got to be, what do you think people want to say about it? I'm saying, what is the fact? The fact is policing is still rooted in oppression, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Marriage. Do you know the history of marriage? Like why it was invented and who invented it, and you know what I mean?
In what context? Like in the context of America, or like the context of the West, or the context of
America didn't invent marriage. So again,
I'm aware.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it wouldn't be in the context of America. It would be historically when marriage was created. Why was it created?
So I'm not sure how to answer that question, because I recognize marriage like on an anthropological level that predates like social systems, and some people say that it originated as a social strategy for.
Wait. I'm sorry. What? It predates social systems. What social systems?
There are anthropologists that study like the institution of marriage in early societies, and they say that people evolved to get married as a form of sharing alliances or sharing resources and ensuring group survival.
Exactly. Hold on, wait. Let's stay with that. And how was that done through marriage? What would happen?
Sometimes somebody would like have a what's it called, an arranged marriage, something
every time it would be arranged back then. And what would happen?
I don't know. It depends. There's not like a.
What do you mean? It depends. It happened the same way every time. It was an institution. It did.
No, it didn't.
It did. They didn't, sir. Okay. They did not go out and go on dates and court. They didn't do that stuff.
I'm not proposing that they went on dates. That's not what I'm saying.
So what? So
I'm saying that marriage didn't look singular. You're saying that it did. I'm saying that it didn't. That's all that I'm saying.
What do you mean? I'm confused. What I'm asking you is, you said, you alluded to certain reasons why marriage was invented, right? And I'm asking you, how did that shore up the lands and stop wars? Like, what would actually happen?
That's what I'm telling you. You're not giving me a particular specific place. You just asked me a general idea of marriage, and to propose that it happened the same, I disagree with that, because I can give you differences where it doesn't look the same.
Give me any instance where it doesn't look the way that you know that it actually looked.
So, okay, so there's one that we're recognizing where there are marriages that are arranged, right? And there's other types of marriages that are not, or outside of arrangement.
And what did those look like? And when did that happen?
I don't think I can give you a particular date.
I mean, maybe not a date, but I'm saying like, because what once again, you're talking about procuring lands and stuff like that. Those were overwhelmingly arranged marriages. Period. I don't know what you like.
I think there are indigenous cultures that women have more autonomy in choosing their partners.
Where?
I think what do you mean where?
Listen to what I'm saying. You're talking about. Hold on, sir. Hold on, Zoe. Back it up. Indigenous cultures didn't believe in the concept of owning land. They didn't believe in that.
That's not true for all indigenous cultures.
Name the indigenous culture where they own land. Name it.
You're making generalizations over all indigenous people.
I'm not. I'm asking you to tell me what indigenous.
No, brother, you made the claim. I didn't make that claim. You have to prove that claim. You have to say that all of these indigenous cultures, you prove it. Why you're making me prove your claim? I don't understand that.
But can I add to something? Let me let you take a brain break. Can I say something to you? So did you bring up indigenous people? Because I didn't hear public bring that up. So you brought up indigenous people, correct?
I said that there are indigenous cultures where women had a choice or a decision in who their partner was. That's what I said.
Well, they were also sold in a way because they were given, the other tribe would be given horses or things of that nature. It was never their choice per se. That's an imaginary thing. So even when they were married, and it's per se, we kind of say, and I'm giving air quotes, their choice, they still were sold for items like chattel.
Yeah. Even if they said that I choose Zoe, she still would have to take you to her father. Her father would still have to say, okay, Zoe, you're good enough for my daughter. And then Zoe, you would still have to pay a dowry to get the woman.
Exactly.
It didn't matter what the culture was. Like, you name the culture that I'm talking about. I'm saying at the inception of marriage, like at the inception of the institution of marriage, because I'm talking about the foundation, the same way I talked about it in America with policing, right? I'm just trying to help you understand that if something starts off as corrupt, you've never seen it manifest itself into something better later on, or something not corrupt later on, without the whole institution being abolished. So marriage at its inception was about enslaving women, which it was. That's what it was.
Let me ask this: in matrilineal societies, marriage was about enslaving women in matrilineal societies.
What matrilineal societies had marriages?
This is what I'm talking about.
Name the societies.
Okay, so you have the Iroquois, you have the Lukto, you have the Hopi. You can look all of these up. These are matrilineal societies.
Mm-hmm.
Look them up.
Yep.
So this idea that it was about enslaving women, when women in these indigenous cultures had a say in who their partner was.
You didn't listen to me, did you? Did you listen to me? Did you listen to what I said? I'm just listening to what me in public said because you actually came back and said the same thing.
Can I just finish, man? Please.
Go ahead. I
appreciate it. Thank you. So yeah, this idea that marriage it looks like one thing, or it's inherently oppressive. I disagree with that, and I would challenge you to pull research up that suggests marriage is inherently oppressive. That people are coming to that conclusion.
I already have the research though. I can prove it today, but I was just showing you the history of it has always been oppressive. It's nothing new. It ain't like it. Hold on. It's not new. That's all I was trying to tell you. It's not new. It's not like it just now became oppressive. It's still oppressive to women to this day. Like, I don't know what, it hasn't stopped. It's been oppressive this whole entire time.
So can I ask a question?
Absolutely.
Can I ask a question?
No, wait. Hold on. Lizzo asked the question. Go ahead, Zo.
Go ahead.
I just wanted to add, I'm just saying that we said this already, and so we're going back over the same thing because I don't think you listened to what Public or I said, that even if it says that they had a choice, they did not have a choice. And I don't understand what you don't understand about that. They did not have a choice. Even if they chose and said, I want this person to be my husband, it was based on what that person had or what that person was able to give to the tribe. So they were traded. They traded their matrimony as if they were chattel. So even though they were able to pick, they picked because of what that person had. You understand? And then today, it's still really we're still being oppressed in the same way. It just has evolved, but it's still basically chattel slavery.
Yeah, like we're not slaves anymore, but are black people still oppressed? We're not enslaved.
So like you're proposing that because a person wanted to get married to somebody in exchange for resources that they had, they didn't have a choice in getting married to that person because they were exchanging their.
You have to be more specific. You're saying that person.
I'm responding to what.
I know, but you have to be specific though, because I didn't understand what that meant. Who is that person, and who are the people in this scenario?
I'm referencing what she said because she was talking about individuals that were exchanged marriage for resources. So I'm referencing what she said.
So could women own land in these scenarios?
In some of them, yeah.
Not in Iroquois, none of them. They didn't even believe in that shit.
Matrilineal societies,
sir, they didn't even.
Often retained by women.
Sir,
this is not uncommon in matrilineal society.
Sir, please answer my question.
Okay.
Stop using outliers and stop pivoting. Answer the question.
Using outliers.
You are. How many matrilineal societies have there been? Seriously, 6, 8.
And this is why I said,
like Jesus Christ.
Marriage looks different in different societies, and you said it doesn't. That was your.
It doesn't look different though. It looks the same, sir. It looks the same everywhere. I promise you. You're just saying that it was matrilineal, sir. You're saying that they had it in a matrilineal society. How did it look different? You're just all right, cool. It existed. Since you know so much, educate us now. Since you brought it up.
So you talked about the passing of property, right? And you asked me, could women retain property? And I said in matrilineal societies, it wasn't uncommon for women to be passed on or retain property. So that's a key difference, right?
To be passed on?
What do you like to be inherited? Like a woman can inherit property?
Okay.
Hello? What are you confused about?
Wait. In American indigenous? Because you named specifically. Okay, then what, sir? Since you know you're going to have to be specific. Now you're going to have to say, in this society, this is how it functions. See what I'm saying?
Yeah. I'd say in indigenous societies, that isn't exclusive to America. Indigenous.
Okay, you only named American indigenous societies. So you're not talking about them because they didn't believe in land. They didn't own land in those societies, right?
Okay, could you support that claim that no indigenous communities in the Americas?
Yeah, that's how they fucking got, sir. No, yes. Could you pull up, sir, I'm not, hold on, sir. Hold on. I am not about to stop this live to derail it, to research some shit that I've already fucking researched 20 years ago to look it up, my nigga. I'm sorry. Now, if you want to bring up indigenous societies that are matrilineal, all I'm asking you to do is tell me what fucking culture, what society specifically, and how marriage looked in that society. That's all I want to know. If you don't have the answer, say I don't have the answer. That's fine too.
Okay, so what do you want me to go from?
I just fucking told you. I literally just told you. It don't get no simpler than what I just said.
You're doing a lot. Just relax. It's just a dialogue.
Bro, please. I'm out there. These niggas is fucking stupid.
You can drop me if that's what you want to do. If you
I could drop you, and I'm not dropping you. You don't have to tell me what I can do. I know I could drop you.
I'm saying I don't talk to people like this.
What do you mean? You don't talk, sir. You don't talk to people.
You're interrupting me every other word. You're interrupting me.
I let you talk, nigga. You ain't saying shit. Answer the fucking question. God damn. Do you lie to people as much as you've been trying to lie to me? Do you play this dumb every time you talk to somebody?
What did I lie to you about? No, you're
all right, go ahead, brother. Go ahead. Can you answer the question?
So again, the difference that you said, what was different? I answered the question. The difference was in matrilineal societies where marriage was an institution, women could retain and pass on property.
Can you name the societies, though?
You did not contend with that.
I asked you, can you name the society?
I just gave you 4 of them.
Those don't do, sir. Okay, so what you're saying is, hold on. I'm asking you. I'm asking you right now. I don't remember them off the top of my head, but I'm gonna ask you this question again.
Because you're not listening.
I am listening. I don't have a fucking memory like a steel trap. Hold on, Zoe, stop. I can't remember 4 things. My memory's not that good. Most people can't. Huh?
You don't even remember not one of them. I named 4. You don't remember even.
You said the Iroquois. I just know the Iroquois. That's it.
You're listening to respond. You're not even listening to actually have a conversation. And you're being disingenuous. That's the fucking problem.
The projection is loud. I'm listening to you. I just don't have that. Zoe, shut up. I'm listening to you. I just don't have that good of a memory. I'll be honest with you. That's like a known thing. My memory isn't a steel trap, believe it or not, right? So I'm asking you, since you brought the fucking 4 indigenous American tribes up, what I'm asking you to do is, now what I'm asking you for is, what did it look like in those tribes? Because from my understanding and from my information that I've looked up, they didn't have deeds to land. They didn't believe in that shit. No American indigenous tribe believed in that. That's what I'm saying. None of them did.
I have a source right here. I'm just
there. You go.
It says the Iroquois community, which is one of the ones I referenced earlier. Women were the keepers of culture. They were responsible for defining political, social, spiritual, and economic norms of the tribe. Iroquois society was matrilineal, meaning descent was traced through the mother rather than the father, as it was in colonial society. While Iroquois women nominated them for leadership positions and made sure they fulfilled their responsibilities. Besides performing normal household functioning, producing, preserving, preparing food, clothing for the family, and taking care of children, Iroquois women participated in many activities commonly reserved for men. They gambled, they belonged to medicine societies, they participated in political ceremonies. The Iroquois were an agricultural people, and it was the women who owned the land and tended to crops. After marriage, Iroquois men moved into the longhouse of his wife's family. Their children then became members of her clan. Iroquois women had great influence in their communities, and women such as Marley Brant, who were great leaders in their own right.
Oh, okay. Oh, I got it. Oh, I see. Okay, I got you, Zoe. Okay, that's what I got it now. I hear you. So the time that you're naming this, right, was in America after colonialism. Like white people had already came here. That's how they got the concept of marriage in America. Is that what happened?
No.
Could you just name? No. I'm dead serious. So say that woman's name again.
Molly Bryant.
Molly Bryant. What is that name? Does that sound like an Iroquois name?
No. It wasn't referencing it. It wasn't referencing somebody of their culture.
Oh, I'm sorry. Maybe I misunderstood what you were saying. So
yeah, the person wasn't named that. It was referencing somebody
who studied
America, but it wasn't referencing a person of Iroquois descent.
Okay, so this and when you say the Longhouse, what's that?
Okay, let me look it up because I'm not familiar.
Yeah. The only reason I'm asking you is because I don't know if what you're telling me right now is pre-colonialism or post-colonialism.
So longhouse is where it's sort of like a house that the Indians lived in, like it is a group, because the kind of marriages he's talking about is group marriage, polyandry. It does say, I just looked it up, and it says polyandry, group marriage. The woman is the kids follow the woman's lineage, and they do move in, but it is group marriage, not single marriage, man and woman.
Gotcha.
Did you read that, Zoe? You didn't read that?
Well, no, I don't think that changes the point.
No, it wouldn't change his point because he's saying marriage doesn't. He's saying that it looks different in different cultures, and I was like, okay, cool. So in that culture, it was, it was a group thing. It was like whatever. I don't know how many women or men were married in that thing. You know what I mean? Like who knows?
One woman to one or more, two or more men.
Jesus.
So it says polyandry, and it says the woman and two or more husbands would be it. So that's not the norm, right, Zoe? That's not the norm. So that's not normally in any culture. We're just talking because you're being very specific. So that is not the norm. That's something that is the minority, right? You wouldn't see that percentage of marriages happening back then or now, right?
Ma'am, I was asked to be specific, so I provided a specific society their function of marriage. That's the only reason why I did that. Before then, we were having this conversation. That's what you used, and that's how this conversation ran down this rabbit hole. But what I'm saying to you is that this is not the norm. So we're talking about marriage between a man and a woman, right? In a society, that's the norm. Like those things that you're talking about, and I'm just looking it up as you're saying it. Well, so because you're saying marriage, I don't think that infers a man and a woman. I think, and this is what's really my foundational point, is that when we talk about marriage, we have to imagine marriage outside of the realm of European ideals, because marriage has been around before the West developed ideas surrounding marriage.
Oh, absolutely.
To constrain it to these ideals of Western European patriarchy, it does us a huge disservice to imagine what marriage can look like and what it does.
Well, I'm not doing that though, because I'm talking about marriages in general, from their inception in Africa, in Asia, like they weren't like what you're describing. That's to her point, to Diva's point. That's not typically what marriages looked like. And you even said it earlier. You were saying that typically it was to secure the land. And I was trying to get to the bottom of what does that look like? But we know what it really looks like. It looks like a woman or a girl a lot of times being traded or sold or whatever you want to say to a man to procure land. That's what it was. And the father would get whatever back. He would get, you know what I'm saying, whatever, a dowry, right? Whatever it was, gold, cattle, land, whatever it was, the father would get something back because he gave up a daughter. He gave up a slave, essentially, because he lost a slave because that girl was being treated like a slave in his house. She was doing all the labor for him. And how did marriage start in Africa? Tell us. I would love to hear this. I definitely want to hear this. How did marriage start in Africa?
Okay, so I'm not sure because I'm not an anthropologist.
No, I'm not asking you. Somebody said that's not how they started in Africa. I want to know how they started in Africa. I'm genuinely curious. I want to know, how did they start? How did they start? Were they not like that? Oh, she said it started in matrilineal societies in East Africa where women ruled. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that one. But you could be right. I ain't gonna fight you.
It all depends on the culture. Not in Africa they may have started like that, and that would.
I don't know if they started like that in Africa. That's what I'm saying. I don't believe that at all.
If it was matrimonial, it was
matrilineal.
If it was matrilineal, then that would mean it would be polyandric marriage, correct? So that would mean that we're not talking about that type of marriage. And I just was saying male and female. We know that marriage does consist of male and male, female and female, whatever. We're specifically, what he's specifically saying to you is that marriage has evolved, but at the root of marriage, it is still the same thing, that women are treated as chattel or as slaves in the marriage. That means you're attached to the marriage, and a lot of things that you is going on or there's being done to you is something that you can't really control, right? Because of what societal norms are, what we have been conditioned to believe as male and female.
Real quick, I don't know. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? That's why I don't like doing this shit in real time. I really don't like offering up this information. But this says it was in Mesopotamia, 2350 BC. And Mesopotamia was not a matrilineal civilization. That's what I'm saying. I've never read that it started in East Africa and a matrilineal society. I highly doubt that that's true. Never, I've never seen that before. And I've seen several different sources on this. It's never said that before. Like for real. Like I'm being honest. Like I'll be shocked if it was. I would be very, 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 very shocked by that. But yeah. Yeah, maybe it started, maybe it didn't. That's what I'm saying. Hey, when you look, when you're talking ancient history, there is no 100% either way. That all I'm saying is you could be right, but saying like, no, that's not where it started. I'm not doing that. I don't believe it started in matrilineal society. I don't believe that. It could have, but I don't believe that. Not me personally. That's what I'm saying. To say something definitively didn't start, to say something definitively, didn't start, whatever, about some shit that happened 5,000 years ago is crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like that's kind of wild to make that to say it like that, like definitively, like nah, it didn't start here. Like I don't know about that. But back to the point, I don't think that but back to the point with Zoe. What I'm trying to understand is though, or if I'm not mistaken, what Zoe is trying to say is that marriage looks different, depending on the society, the civilization, right? I agree. I wouldn't argue that at all, not one bit. But my point was, before we got derailed, my point in all of this was simply just bringing up the fact that the marriage model that we follow, the one that we're on, is rooted in the idea of women being property to men. Is that safe to say?
Yes, I think that's the framing that we have for marriage in the West. At least, yeah. Yeah.
Where and in 2024, where does marriage not look like that at?
Well, again,
because you said in the West, so take me to the East. Does it not look like that in China?
So when I'm talking about the West, I'm really being intentional saying the West, because the West colonization, and I know colonization didn't only happen in the West, but how it happened, I think is very important to what we're moderately discussing, and how it kind of frames our day-to-day interactions in our social systems and institutions. So there are quote unquote right societies where people will say this is not the right word, but people from the West might describe them as primal, right? Because their social interactions don't look the same, and these are still in existence today in Africa, in Asia, and in other parts of the world. where their marriage institutions and how they practice them are still maintained and how they kind of practice how marriage or what it looks like for them. But if you're talking about the West, yes, our ideas of marriage are rooted in a patriarchal norm or orientation, and that presents in a certain way.
So, marriage is slavery for women, right?
No.
No?
Marriage is not slavery for women.
Oh God. How many cultures are women not enslaved when it comes to marriage? That's an easier, instead of you giving me these random one-offs, what I want you to do is name are more, I want you to answer this question. Are more cultures on the model that I'm describing with marriage as far as like a woman is exchanges property or not?
I'm not sure of the quantity, but I could imagine that it might be more. I just don't want to make the statement, but I would think that is more. I would think that. I just can't make the statement that it is because I don't know for certain, and I don't.
But wait. Name the largest. What are the largest countries? India, China, right? So let's just start there. That would take care of the majority of the population of the planet, right?
Okay, sure.
Okay. Are they on a very similar model as the one in America?
I'm not sure.
They are.
Okay.
Yeah. A man, a woman, same shit. Legal right, all that stuff. Dowries in India, you know what I mean? All that type of shit. Right?
Okay.
Okay. That's there. Okay. You now name a country. Name it. Japan, same thing. Thailand, same thing. Philippines, same thing. That's Asia.
But I feel like this is what we're not accounting for. A lot of these countries that you're naming, especially China and India, they have ethnic groups that have real distinct differences.
Hold on, but see, I think you're missing how this works. Marriage would imply this, like when I say men are something or women are something, I don't mean all. So if you want to highlight some outliers, it would negate the statement.
I don't think it's as much as me outlining outliers, because you're saying marriage, which means we're considering everything.
No, it means no. It's no, I can though, because if we're talking, hold on, if we're talking about the common practice of marriage, which that's what I'm talking about, it is rooted in the idea of enslaving women, and that model is all around the world. Now, if you're going to talk about, once again, these random one-offs, or like, they got, there's 3,000 people in China that still like, nigga, that don't mean that it still doesn't negate what I'm saying. You see what I'm saying? That's how it works. I was trying to figure out I was trying to get to the core of it so we can start from there, right? The same way when I talked about the police in America, policing didn't start in America, right? There are other places that had police before America got police. But the way the police look in America, the model that we're on in America, is rooted in oppression. And that model is all throughout Europe. That model is all throughout Japan. That model is all throughout. So if I say policing in the world, or policing is oppressive, you wouldn't say, no, it's not, because in this country and in this tribe, they police and it don't look like that. Like that wouldn't make any sense. It would still apply. Policing is oppressive.
Okay, so I would just to say that marriage enslaves women. I think that it strips the autonomy from a woman that wants to get married to say that, well, like, I am myself. I'm kind of throwing myself into the status of being enslaved. I think that so a woman that, just say a woman, right? She aspires to be married one day. It is to say also that it strips the autonomy from her and say that she wants to be enslaved because she wants to be married. It really doesn't make sense. I think that if a woman wanted to be married, right, that's really kind of her decision. That's like saying
that somebody who signs up to be in the military wants to be practice colonialism or some shit like that. Like, that's not the same thing. They just don't know. People don't know. They're conditioned to not know. You're conditioned to be uneducated. And also, here's what I'm saying. I know what marriage is as a married man. Like, I know what marriage is, but I also, so for me and my wife, like, we don't need to be married. Like, I don't need to be married to my wife to treat my wife like a wife. I didn't, you know what I'm saying? It ain't like we got the rings and now I'm like, now you got to treat your wife good. Like, no, I would treat my wife like this. She was my girlfriend or my wife, right? What I'm saying is the women, the institution of marriage, but it is the benefits that are created in the institution of marriage are artificial. They're manufactured. They're not real. They don't exist outside of, like, you can easily just change the rules and the laws, and then marriage would be obsolete. It's almost obsolete today. That's what I'm saying. It's like marriage is really close to being obsolete today, right? Because once you removed a large portion of it, which was exchanging women for land, and you know what I mean, and trapping women in these terrible fucking situations. Once you remove that, then all you really have left are all of these like little bitty, you know, they add up, but like, hey, I can't, you know, I can, if I die, my wife gets my pension, you know, she gets my Social Security, things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? You know, whatever, my insurance goes to my wife, you know, whatever it is, you know what I'm saying? Like, whatever it is, I don't give a fuck. You think, you know, whatever the bylaws are of it, right? So that's like, that is the only thing that's left. If they remove that, if you just change it, it was like, yeah, you could give whoever you want your 401k, you can give whoever you want this, you can give whatever you want that, then marriage would be obsolete, 100% obsolete.
Okay, I think that marriage functions as a type of social cooperation for us to have some type of social cohesion. That's what I think that it functions for at its inception. I think there are ways that, as time goes on, in certain societies, like patriarchal ones, that are more dominant and prominent, where marriage has abused women in a way, and oppressed women in a way where it's constraining maybe their reproductive rights or their labor based off of the status and how they view women in that society. I acknowledge that. But I think to say that marriage enslaves women, even in the modern context, I think it's a little ridiculous.
We keep going around in circles because you can't, I'm talking about most marriages and most institutions of marriage and how they function globally. And you are talking about how it should be or how you think it is or whatever. We are not having the same conversation now. What's up, man?
What's his argument?
He just said it. He said that marriage doesn't enslave women. Like, that's not, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's not what it does. And he's trying to, and also I hate the disingenuous, like, oh, well, you know, women aren't women. You're stripping women of their autonomy because you're making it seem like they're signing up to be slaves. Like, that don't even make sense.
Let me ask you a question. So do you view all married women as slaves?
No.
Okay. Marriage enslaves women. Now, what could somebody assume that you think, or infer that you think about women that are married based off of that statement?
Say it again.
What can someone infer that you think about women based off of the statement marriage enslaves women?
That marriage is bad?
I'm talking about the married woman. What might you think about the being in
that a lot of married women are enslaved, and they are.
So again,
most of them are actually.
So this goes back to the first question I asked you. You believe married women are slaves?
Do I think most married women are slaves? Yeah, I do. I think most married women are enslaved. Yeah.
And I think that's why I fundamentally disagree with you. And I think that's why we keep, quote unquote, going around in circles, because I don't have that perspective of married women.
Why not?
Well, because one, I talked about how women have the autonomy to get married now in this society, right? So you don't really have to get married if you don't want to. That's the first thing. And I think using the word enslave, it kind of infers that you're talking about a forced interaction.
It is.
People that are in the status of being a quote unquote slave didn't buy into being a slave. They were that status was forced on them as some means of oppression. I think that's very, very different from what we see in the interaction of people desire a pursuit for marriage.
Who cares if it was forced or if they were tricked? What's the difference?
So you think women are being tricked into being slaves because they want to be married?
100. Now, there you go. Yes.
Okay, could you explain that a little bit more?
Because the institution of marriage enslaves women, but they don't tell women what marriage actually is. Most people don't know where the fuck it came from. They don't know why we do it. They just know they want to do it. Most people who are married never look. They don't even know what the fuck marriage is. They don't. If you ask somebody what is marriage, they'll say it's a covenant between you and God. It ain't nothing to do with none of that bullshit. What is marriage?
So if you were to say religion for marriage too. So if you were to go around and survey married women and ask them were they slaves, what do you think would be their response? And do you think that you have the do you think that you have the right to tell women that are married, even if they identify as not being an enslaved person or woman within a marriage, that they're still slaves? Do you think that's your place to tell married women that?
Yes.
But can I answer that? Can I answer that?
Go ahead.
So I know you didn't hear me. I know you didn't listen to me earlier when I said to you that women are conditioned from the time that they are little girls that they should be married. And it's also pressed upon them all throughout their adult lifehood that if they get to a certain age and they're not married, that they are worthless. Now, some women will buy into that and they don't understand and they want to be married. But like Public says, once they become married, they understand, oh, marriage is not what I was told it was. And we are told this by men. I'm not going to be general. By men, this is by men, that it's going to be, oh, you're going to benefit from marriage. Marriage is going to be great for you. But in reality, the majority of women, it is not great for them. How you see this is because women are the majority of the people that get a divorce. That tells you that a lot of them did not understand what marriage was about, and they bought into that dream that marriage was a certain way when it was not. So you're not listening. I said that at the beginning. Women are conditioned to be married. That's what we're conditioned to do. You got to be a wife. You have to be a mother. If you are not this or that within this certain time, you are worthless. And men will say that to you.
Yeah.
So if someone is telling you that and you understand, then you'll want to be married. But when you get into marriage, because I've been married a long time, you understand marriage is not what men say it is. Okay. And you become entrapped in that.
Shit, the men don't know what marriage is either.
Whenever I can ask that.
Go ahead, Tyrone.
On what Brown Eyes said on like what y'all was saying, a question kind of rung in my head because nowadays, like I guess the narrative towards men is don't get married. Like why has the narrative like shifted to like men you should marry like a woman, but now it's like don't get married, it's the worst thing for you, you know?
Because 50 years ago, women had no autonomy. Like they had little to no autonomy and they couldn't leave. So it was like, yeah, bro, hell yeah, bro, get you a wife. Right? Like you get you a wife, she'll cook and clean and suck and fuck, and you could grape her when you want to, and you could beat her up, and nobody, you know what I mean? And nobody gonna come and save her, and you could abuse her however you want to. Hell yeah, it's a sweet deal for men, right? And the man was like, hell yeah, we'll sign up for that. Fast forward to 2024, it's harder to do those things, even though most women still suffer under some form of abuse. It's not as extreme as it was 50 years ago, right? It's not as extreme as it was, but it's still extreme and it's still happening. But for the men, they're like, why? Like for me, first of all, let me also add to this. Men are more interested in marriage now than women are in this day and age. So, but overall, men aren't more interested in marriage than they were 50 years ago, to your point. You know what I'm saying? But today they definitely are more interested in marriage than women are because they overwhelmingly benefit from marriage. And the only reason why men are afraid of here's the main reason why men are afraid of marriage. Men are not afraid of marriage, they're afraid of divorce, right? And the reason they're afraid of divorce is because most men know, whether they want to admit it or not, they know they are more than likely going to fuck up the relationship. And they are definitely, they know They always knew they were going to fuck up the relationship. They always knew they weren't good enough for the woman and they didn't deserve this woman. But back then the woman couldn't leave. She had no other out. She had no out. But now she has an out, and that's what scares him, is that she has outs. She has an option, right? And women are like, yeah, there are so many women that's like, I'd rather live in poverty than fucking be married to this man another day. I'd rather struggle on my own with 3 fucking kids and work 2 jobs and be married to this man. Like, that's how terrible men are. And men know that. Like, I don't care how, the fact that men are afraid of divorce tells me that men know how much they fuck up. Then they try to lie though and say, well, women, they just wake up one day and they just, all of a sudden, they just don't want to be with you no more. You got to watch out for that, brothers. Like, they start telling that lie to make up for it or to cover it up. But in reality, you know what the fuck it is. You know you're going to get in there and fuck it up.
So I have a question just to challenge the consistency of this logic. So same-sex marriages between 2 women, are those women also enslaved, or?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Outlier.
Wait, this is so crazy because it says marriage. So I don't know, is same-sex marriage is not marriage?
What percentage of same-sex marriages make up the overall percentage of marriage?
Or same-sex marriages? I'm not really sure.
Exactly. Do you think it is even close to the majority of marriages?
No. I don't.
Okay, then why are you talking about it?
Well, so just to be clear.
Jesus Christ.
Marriage doesn't infer that you're only talking about heterosexual marriages or opposite sex marriages.
It doesn't matter. It's just saying, once again,
I'm telling you why I'm talking about.
I know, but I already explained this, and it almost seems like you're not listening, right? So let me go back again real quick over it. Marriage, generally speaking, is enslavement for women. Are there outliers and situations in which it's not? Yes, but generally the idea, the concept is rooted in the enslavement of women. I said that 15 minutes ago. What are you not understanding? This is not an absolute. This is not an absolute statement, sir.
It's not a matter of comprehension. I think you just don't want to answer the question.
I did answer the question. I'm telling you, it's irrelevant to the discussion. That's what I'm saying. Sir.
You're saying something, but that's not answering the question.
Okay.
It's irrelevant.
The question was, okay, he just said that. I don't need you to repeat.
Okay, then why are you going to say the same thing? What are you not understanding about what I'm saying?
You're saying that you answered the question. You actually didn't. You said it's irrelevant, which I appreciate that you said, and we can move on from it, but that's not answering the question. Stop pretending like it is.
Okay.
If the question was, in same-sex marriages, are women also enslaved? It would just be a yes or no, and then you'll tell why. But you didn't. You just said it's irrelevant. You excused the question, and we moved on. That's exactly.
You know why I didn't. You know why I didn't answer the questions though? Because neither you nor me know anything about same-sex marriages. That's why I didn't answer the question. That's why I didn't understand why you would ask it.
I know a lot about same-sex marriages.
You're gay?
Don't put that on me.
You're gay?
No, I didn't say that I was.
Okay. What? How do you know about him?
I just told you I studied sociology and social systems.
Okay. You study same-sex marriage. When did we as a country start? Hold on, Zoe. How long have we been? How much data do we have on same-sex marriages? How many years back does it go?
Not a whole bunch.
Okay. So is it safe to say that at the very least it would be inconclusive?
Not what I'm referring to. No.
No? When were same-sex marriages legalized in this country? What year?
In America?
In America, yeah.
24. It was 2015, 2014, one of those years.
Okay, so 10 years ago. So in 10 years, you think we have the data that we need compiled to definitively determine how same-sex marriages function?
So I think it depends on the topic at hand. We can't talk about everything in same-sex marriages. For instance, right? Maybe long-term same-sex marriages, we might not be able to have conclusions about that are supported by data because we haven't seen what that looks like under a system that legalizes long-term same-sex marriages. So there's a limitation there. And I think research oftentimes talk about what limitation they have.
That would be a huge limitation. So the longest marriage, hold on, Zoe. So the longest marriage could be the oldest same-sex marriage in America is 10 years old. That's the longest marriage, right? The majority, when do the majority of people in heterosexual marriages, or you could tell me in same-sex marriages, when do them, and what year in the marriage do most people get divorced?
Say that again. I think is it the 20th year?
Is it the 20th year?
I'm not really sure on what year that people
They say it's the first 7 years, but also like they talk about like like the gray marriages and all of that stuff too. But my point is that
I'm sorry. That's amongst educated demographics.
Okay,
the 20th year.
That makes sense. I can see that. But yeah. So my point is that most people get divorced within the first 7 years, right? 7 years typically. I don't know what that's like. I don't know what year do most same-sex marriages get divorced. I know that for heterosexual marriages that would apply. I don't know for same-sex marriages.
Do you know that same-sex marriages between two women have the highest divorce rates?
Yeah, I know that.
Okay.
Yeah, so everybody knows that because every red pillar gets on this app and regurgitates that same pointless stat. You are a red pillar. You do.
Okay.
You say you have all their talking points.
What are all
Do you want to tell you why that the women's marriages probably are a higher rate than
before you tell me that, I'll just go if I can finish because I wanted to draw into a point you made earlier.
Go ahead.
You talked about the divorce rates are so high for women because them quote unquote being enslaved. If you're using that as a contention about women getting or commencing divorce because they're enslaved by men, I would also kind of challenge your logic on that or the consistency of it. Rather, if you recognize that those same women, quote unquote, are enslaved by other women because they have the highest divorce rates. Are those the
same women though?
I was gonna say that.
They're obviously not the same.
Okay, then why are you talking about a different group of women, a different group of people, when we're talking like this is so crazy. You know what's crazy? It's almost as if you just want to argue. It's almost as if you don't have a point.
Well, I don't agree. That's the first.
Yeah, you cannot agree, but you have to. Your disagreement should be rooted in logic, and you're not making sense. Because what I'm saying is marriage is in general, like I've been saying this whole time. This isn't definitive. This isn't absolute. So what is the point in bringing up small demographics of people to refute what I'm saying? It doesn't refute it.
I think because what you said earlier. Well, the first thing that I said early on was that when you say marriage, right, the entire statement, marriage enslaves women, it should be abolished. I said it's an oversimplification and you're kind of like generalizing marriage.
It is generalized. It still applies to Mozo.
Okay, brother. So what are some of the problems with generalizations when you're looking at sociology? What are some of the problems?
In this context, none. In this context, zero.
So do you think sociologists make generalizations like this?
Absolutely.
Which ones are they? Talk about them. What generalizations?
They say shit about men and women in general all the time. They study men and women. They study that they will say stuff about societies all the time in general. Like what the fuck are you talking about? I'm talking about the concept of marriage in general. In general, it's an idea.
No, that's bad. That's bad scholarship.
It's not bad scholarship. My wife is a fucking sociologist. She ain't studying it. She has a master's degree in it. She generalizes all the time. What are you talking about?
Can I say something to that?
Go ahead, BPG.
I want to answer that question. Because sociologists actually do use generalizations, but they try to use the way that they use generalizations is to lead into what the question is that they're trying to answer. This is why I tell people all the time, like, when you're trying to have these conversations and you want to start using historical references or educational references, that this should probably be something that you actually study and not something that you Google. Because sociologists do use those generalizations in order to be able to describe the different patterns or trends that are observable through like social behaviors, through systemic structures, through oppressive systems. They are trying to figure out what the pattern is. So they do make those generalizations. It's the same thing with stereotypes. Stereotypes aren't necessarily even a lie as much as they exacerbate what the truth is, and they tie them to things that aren't necessarily connected. I think that that's the same thing that that you're trying to do now, which is connect stuff together that has nothing to do with the other
at all. Hold on, we gotta shout at everybody, man. DJ said put 20 on that boy head for his point being pointless. Fuck patriarchy says so annoying arguing to argue, 20 on his head. Eat pray yoga put 5 on his head. And Teresa said 2 women marriages matriarchy. Sociologist here. Osa said $2 on him. This motherfucker has comprehension issues. Osa said had a target run. This guy's still talking. 2 on him. That finished it out. Nigel said just because a victim of abuse doesn't think they're being abused doesn't mean they aren't being abused. Exactly. That's what I was saying. He was like, do you think you have the right to say that? Yeah, I do. What the fuck? I'm gonna tell you that this motherfucker is abusing you. Oh, because I'm a man, I can't tell him that. Why? I know what abuse looks like. I've told plenty of women they were being abused by their men, or they had been abused before. Plenty. I have no qualms about it. They'll be like, yeah, I never been abused. Oh, have you ever been cheated on? Yeah. Oh, that's abuse. Huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's abuse.
Also, we make excuses because we're conditioned to do so. We're conditioned to make excuses for, oh, he's having a rough day. He's having problems at the job. So, oh, he just drank a little bit too much today. We're conditioned to all of that, and everybody knows that.
Yeah,
everybody knows.
Let me finish these. Also said, why are men obsessed with women leaving them? Put your efforts into treating women correctly and with dignity, and she is highly likely to stay. Yeah, they don't want to do that though. That's too much light work. Go ahead, humble take.
Hey, public, you a funny dude, man. I swear.
I just wanted to get on here because I saw the topic. I was trying to see what was going on. That's all.
We've been here having a good old time.
Yeah, we had discussion last time, and then we touched on this a little bit about the love and about the marriage and stuff. So I don't believe in the marriage. If you got real love, you don't need no marriage to finalize your love for somebody.
You don't.
Women or men, you don't need no marriage.
I do think, once again, though, I want to be clear. I'm not, because I think marriage should be abolished, doesn't mean that I don't, in this society, marriage still plays a role because it hasn't been changed. So it's like I don't believe in capitalism, but I still got to make money. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not a capitalist, but I got to make money though. What the fuck you want me to do? Starve? I'm not going to live off the grid. I don't even know how to do that shit. I have no interest in doing it. Right. But simultaneously, I can be like, yeah, I'm anti-capitalist. See what I'm saying? Yeah. So I can believe this, be married, BBG could be married, but still understand this and want it to be different later on because I know that marriages overall do hurt women. I think most women that are married are harmed by the institution of marriage, historically and currently. Well, I know historically they were, but currently the same thing.
You know what I'm saying? Most women get beat on for, their husband come home and the house not clean. They get beat on for it, and she could have a rough day. And it's just a whole bunch of crazy stuff that go on in the marriage. But I don't plan on having no marriage. But
do you plan on having kids?
Yeah, I plan on loving the right woman. But
why wouldn't you get married in this society if you're gonna have kids? In this society. Not in the one where we fix all the laws and all of that stuff. I would understand you not being married, but in 2024, why wouldn't you get married? What are you afraid of? What are you concerned about?
I don't think I'm just afraid. It's just like I look at it as like nonsense. If it's like a real connection between somebody and y'all gotta understand on how y'all gonna live, I don't really see the point in like like you get what I'm saying. I really don't see the point.
I don't know why you don't see the point.
Yeah, it ain't really nothing but like wasted money for real. If we being honest,
where's the waste of money coming from?
I'm just saying, like getting the wedding together.
Who said you have to have a wedding to get married?
That's what I'm saying. That's the norm, though.
But that's the wedding, though. You can choose not to have a wedding. That's a choice. Exactly. Like a wedding, you don't have to have. If you get married, you just have to go down there to the courthouse sign the paperwork.
You can get married without having a wedding. Yeah.
Absolutely, it's cheap to get married. Actually,
I agree with that. And like until things change, then I might do it. But Like as of now, no.
What do you mean until things change?
Like when men do better well, I know I do better well. I'm in a young age.
I'm talking about, but humble take. I'm talking about you specifically. I'm not talking about men in general, right? I'm saying you specifically. If you are a decent man and you plan on treating the woman, that you settle down with decently, and you're going to have children with this woman and all of those things, why wouldn't you get married?
I'm just say come straight forward and say I don't see the point.
Okay, so you don't want to protect like as a father, when you get married, that you're afforded certain concessions legally, like as far as like with your children.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like if you have your children in wedlock as opposed to outside of wedlock, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I got a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, you married?
Yeah.
So you didn't have a wedding or nothing?
Oh, I did. Yeah. My wedding cost $5,000.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay.
It was super fun too, man. I wish all of y'all could have been there. That shit was lit.
Yeah, but you like you grew up in a different time than me though. So
what does that mean?
Yeah, my times are rough. I'm only 18. Coming up, the people, the women and dudes I'm growing up with, is crazy.
But what does that mean? In what way?
Like again, like I don't even see kids my age. I don't even hear them talking about marriage or nothing like that. It's just crazy.
Well, no, I mean I understand that, but I understand the kids not talking about it because we weren't talking about it when we were 18 either.
I think he's trying to say like
if you got a plan, if you got a plan for yourself.
Hold on, Tay.
At a young age, I'm pretty sure you're gonna talk about it.
No, I didn't have it wasn't that serious. I didn't think about it in that way. Go ahead. Go ahead, Tyrone.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you got a plan in the future for yourself, you're gonna hear it. Somebody gonna be talking about it because I've talked about it. But
I didn't talk about it. When I was 18, I was not talking about marriage with my homies. That was not on my mind. And I had a girl and everything. I had been with her. She was my high school sweetheart. When I was 22, when I was 23, I think I got engaged the first time when I was like 23. I didn't talk about it before that either. I never had a conversation with any of my homies like, "Yeah, man, I'm really thinking about proposing to my girl." Like, never.
No, I've never said that, but like never tell somebody when I'm proposed to somebody. But other than that, like I'm just saying, like a regular conversation, I just don't hear it.
Man, you won't hear it at 18. That's what I'm trying to tell you. That's normal. That's not a new thing. That's a classic thing. How?
So what? All y'all was outside when y'all was 18?
Yeah, I had a girl and I was outside. I shouldn't have been. I should have been in the house, but I was outside with a girlfriend. My girlfriend was in the house. I was outside.
Okay. Yeah.
You probably won't hear girls your age, Humble, talking about marriage because they have the mindset has changed. You know what I said earlier about women have changed their mindset. Like we talked about earlier, that there are now barriers that were there before for women to be independent have been removed. Like them being able to have a bank account, them being able to buy their own house, them being able to go out and work. Those have been removed. So now the girls your age don't need marriage. And that's why you have not been having, that's why you don't hear them talking about it. And I'm proud of them.
I'm trying to. That's why I was going back into it. Like, why would I get married and like it's basically me forcing them into marriage if they don't talk about it. That's what I'm saying.
You get married for, like Public said, for your children, for the legalities, because in this society, if you are not married, certain things that are afforded to you as their father will not be afforded to you because you are not married to that woman. So therefore, you that's why you do it, and also for love, if that comes. But for legality purposes, because we live in the society that we live in, marriage should be something that you do when you have children and you want to have children.
Yeah.
Okay.
Until they change that, that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like until we could get rid of the institution and all of the others, then I'm with it. But yeah, I'm not against. That's what I'm saying. Like I want to be clear. I'm not in this day and age. I think that if you are going to treat a woman, I'm talking to men specifically, if you are going to not be abusive to a woman, then yeah, I think you should marry her. If she wants to marry you, why not? Why, you know what I mean? Like, you should get married. It's easier. There's no, I don't have any fear of marriage. I never did have a fear of marriage, ever. I got married when I was 29. Yeah, I got married when I was 29. Had my first kid when I was 30, but I never had a fear. I had a fear of having a kid. I never had a fear of getting married, though. Like, that was never like something that I was concerned with as a man. I would understand women being concerned with being married, but I'm saying me as a man, I was never concerned with being married. It never did. I never was like, oh man, she could take half my stuff. Like, whatever stuff I would get, like, your wife can't take half your shit because y'all earned the shit together. So how can she take half of the shit that she helped you get? It's her shit. Like men want to be Debo so bad, right? Remember when Debo, I don't know, you young, but in Friday, when Debo and Smokey, when Debo and Smokey broke in the Stanley house and got $200, and Debo said, and Smokey said, hey, we got $200, and then Debo said, I got $200. Yeah. Right? Men want to be Debo so bad, like she was with you, bro. She was Chris Tucker. You Debo, cool. You owe her half the money, nigga. She helped you. She gave you a lift. You stood, you know what I'm saying? Like, you stood on her back, nigga, to get in the door, to get in the window. Then you get in the house, you get the $200. Y'all both in there. She was look out for you, got out, and then you talk about, no, so y'all want to lose half my shit. It ain't your shit. It's y'all shit. So where is the fear? Like, you're going to have more shit than you would have had if you weren't married. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you were single, you would have less shit.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. Like, I just think men, when men say they don't want to get married, I don't understand. I'm like, what are you afraid of? What's the concern? Are you afraid you're gonna fuck it up? Have that discussion. I think that's a fair discussion to have.
No, I don't think I'll miss my marriage if I were to get married.
Then what are you worried about?
I don't plan on getting married right now anyway.
Well, no, I know you 18, but hold on, wait. But you just said, I don't plan on messing up my marriage. Cool. So what are you afraid of? What is your concern?
I think it's like, I don't know, because people's feelings change over time. So I think that's my most concern right there. But like, I've never cheated in my relationship, so I'm pretty sure I won't have no problem. And like, I'm a fun dude, so I do a lot of stuff. And like, I'm pretty confident in who I am. But I be worried about, I just be thinking.
Then why date a woman? What is the difference between these concerns in a relationship or in a marriage? If you are concerned that a woman is going to wake up and feel some type of way about you tomorrow, don't have kids. That's crazy. Why would you have kids with that person? Fuck marriage. You're more afraid of marriage than you are of having kids? What do you think the bigger commitment is?
As in what, kids and marriage?
What do you think the bigger commitment is? Having babies or getting married?
Having babies.
So why did you tell me you were willing to have kids, but you're not willing to get married?
I'm saying.
What is going on, Tay?
I'm not scared of it, but you know what I'm saying? It's just too much. I isolate myself and my thoughts get the best of me, so. But I'll get it together though. Ain't no big issue. It's not, but hey, I'm just telling you, it ain't nothing to be afraid of as a man. Like I said, if you're gonna do right by her, then why not get married to her? If you're gonna have babies with her, that's all I'm saying. If you're gonna have babies with her, you might as well get married. Like, I ain't about to, that's crazy. Having babies with a woman and not being interested in marrying them just kind of is a little, I don't understand that. I think that's weird.
A lot of dudes are aware, though, that if they have a baby with her, honestly, the likelihood of them being able to still have control over her is much higher than if they marry her.
If they just marry her, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because with marriage, you do have a level of responsibility that, you have to keep up with if that's your wife. And if you decide that you don't want to be in that relationship anymore, then there are consequences to that. And honestly, and there are still states, I want to say it's Georgia, because I think Fantasia got caught up with that. But in Georgia, like, you can get sued for like alienation or like stress that's caused by you cheating. Like there are real world implications for if you mistreat that lady if she's your wife. Now, if she is just your baby mama, you can come up with all these weird rules that dudes come up with. I don't want no man around my kids, so I don't want you dating. Oh, okay. I mean, that's not how life works, but and they come up with these ideas that are really like, especially if you listen to a lot of guys talk when they talk about child support, they do the same thing. Like they talk about these sort of hidden rules that they have that they've made up completely from the top of their head in order for them to be able to leverage money over a woman. But if he's on child support, then now whatever money he gives is going through the state. So he can't have those same stipulations over her that he did when he was just cashing her out of his pocket, out the back room. He has to go, there are proper channels he has to go through. And he can't have that same level of control. So a lot of dudes are scared of marriage because that's going to keep them responsible for that lady in a way that if she was just your baby mama, you wouldn't have to.
Hey, what's that dude? I think his name is like Mookie Brooks or something like that.
I don't even know who that is.
It's this dude. I be seeing all his videos on Facebook, and he basically like in all his videos, he be like arguing with his baby mama, and he be like, "Unhand me!" Like every time she touched him. He light skinned. He got a short Caesar. He all he does is gaslight his baby mama, and But yeah, in the videos though, like he like it's constantly like Mojo Brooks. That's the name, Mojo Brooks. He's constantly like manipulating her. Like he's like he'll be like, "Oh, you got a man," and then he'll be like, tell him like he'll just be like, "Oh, you got a man in there? Like why you with him? Why you like?" Like, well, tell him that you got you getting back with me, because if you're not with me, I'm not gonna pay the light bill. He gonna split the bills with you. Like he do shit like that. Like he's always trying to like financially like coerce her into being like giving him access to her body, pretty much. And then by the end of every video, he sleeps with her. Like it's all he like start fake crying about his grandma, how he misses grandma. It'd be like, "Grandma, they don't make them like they used to." Like he'd be crying like that, and then like it'll cut, it'll cut, and it'll come back to him, and he'll be like zipping up his pants and have his shirt off. Be like, "All right, go up there and tell your dude whatever." But like that thought process that he has though in those skits, that is how a lot of men function. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how a lot of men function. Like he's an exaggerated version of that, but that is what men do though. Men do that all the time to women that they have children with. You know what I'm saying?
Look at Offset and Cardi, but just look at what he said. He accomplished what he needed to accomplish. She is baby mama.
She is. Andrea said, who are you asking about, Andrea? I think it says, have you ever been diagnosed given bipolar? I don't know who you're talking about, Andrea. Tam said, men are not afraid of having children because absentee fathership is acceptable in our society. So is being a divorced man. That's acceptable too. So you can be a divorced man, a divorcee. Oh, ask him. You talking about Tay, Andrea?
Hey, public.
Yes, sir.
My screen is frozen for some reason, man.
Swipe out.
Do nothing.
You got to swipe out and swipe back. Yeah, you got to swipe out the app.
I can't even swipe out. That's the thing. Like I can still use my phone, like swipe out a TikTok, but
yeah,
I can't like.
No, I'm saying you got to swipe out the whole app completely and then come back.
Got you.
Yeah. That's the only way you can do it. Hey, y'all, let's get up over 100,000 likes, though, man. We up to 93,000. That's close. I appreciate y'all tapping Bang the Cash App one time. Let's keep the live alive. I appreciate all the super chatters, man. Everybody in the comments, y'all doing great. Yes, sir.
I just got some good news. The exam I said I had to take.
Yep.
I made an 87 on it.
You did what?
I made an 87 on it.
Oh, nice.
100 questions. I get my certification in like some days. So
what was that in? What was that in? I forgot.
Huh?
What was it in though? I forgot what it was.
HVAC.
Oh, HVAC. Oh, yeah. That's what's up, my nigga.
Yeah.
There you go.
My certification a couple days ago.
You on your way. Young bull.
She said, some lady, I ain't go, I ain't trying to get on her, but she was like, get my clothes ready and stuff. I go to trade school now. I graduated, went straight into trade school.
That's good. We love that. We love that for you.
Brett, good job.
Hell yeah.
Congrats, man. On the HVAC thing. I also just graduated HVAC school myself.
Look at y'all, man.
Not too long ago?
I graduated a couple months ago, and now I'm back in there for electrician work.
Yeah, I was planning on picking up another trade, too.
Congratulations, guys. Good job.
Yep. You know what I mean? Look. What up, Six Figures?
Hey, y'all. Happy Sunday.
What up? Appreciate you.
Thank you, Chad. Thank you. I appreciate the congratulations.
Yeah, appreciate it, Chad.
Yeah, I just wanted to come up a little bit earlier, but it's on now. But I don't know. We'll get into it anyway. Because while y'all were talking, I looked up why was marriage invented. Because that's kind of like what you and whatever his name was, y'all were talking about. It is very interesting. So I just want to read this real quick. It says marriage has had many purposes throughout history. Family alliances. Now, y'all touched on pretty much all of these things. Family alliances. These are bullet points. Marriage was often a strategic way for families to expand their labor force. So, to your point, public, does marriage enslave women? Yes, because the origin of marriage was a business deal. It was for the expansion of, money, capitalism, labor, having children so that you can have more children, so you can have more laborers, right? Mm-hmm. Like, it is what it is. Obviously, procreation, same thing. I just got done saying that. People wanted people to have more children so they can have more laborers.
Yep.
Security rights. Marriage was a way to secure rights to land, right? Secure rights to land, because keep in mind, women could not buy they could not get loans, they could not get mortgages, they could not get bank accounts until the late 60s, early 70s. So that's not that long ago. What else? Other socialization. Marriage was a way to care for children and educate and socialize. But then this is the part that kind of jumped out at me. It says ancient, right? And that's like a little bullet point, sort of. It says a way for families to create alliances. And no, that's not it. That's not the one. Oh, here it is. The first recorded marriage took place in Mesopotamia in 2350 BC. The definition of marriage has changed over time, and love marriages became more common in the Middle Ages. And I was like, yo. So that's kind of like what I wanted to share with that guy, because it wasn't about love. It kind of still isn't about love. Unfortunately, I feel like with women go into relationships and marriage because of love, right? For the purpose of building love relationships. But really, that's not what it, especially if the man is not on, if y'all are not on the same vibe, right? If y'all not on the same level, he's gonna go into it for one thing, she's gonna go into it for a different reason. But the fact that they even said, and love marriages became more common. And I was like, think about it. Around the 60s and 70s, when a lot of women started freeing themselves from abusive, husbands and relationships, because they have more rights to be more independent. I feel like at that time, that's when they started romanticizing marriage. You get what I'm saying? Like with commercials and commercialism and, just a lot of things that incorporate marriage. That's where I think a lot of women fell into a trap. Like, seriously. I feel like that's when a lot of women fell into the trap of, oh my God, I want to get married. I want to have the ring. I want to have the wedding. But society, they knew what they were doing. It was a trick.
right? Because they were like, if we cannot enslave you by force, then we're going to romanticize marriage and enslave you and use love, right? Use love for a reason for you to say I do. Hence, hold on, I'm almost done. Hence, now we have marriages where women literally are wife slaves. Like literally. It's the same thing. It's the same concept as before the 60s. It's the same concept. It's the same thing. It's just a little bit. It's like putting lipstick on a pig. Like you put lipstick on a pig, it's still a pig, right? It's just a little bit more attractive now. You got the commercials. Every gift begins with K. You got all of that stuff, right? So now it becomes more enticing for women to say, maybe I will say I do, but it's still the same stuff.
Mm-hmm. Ocean, did you get a chance to go?
I was gonna touch on that. There was my reason of saying like if I have kids, like if I choose to have kids with a woman, and like by them being educated on marriage now and know that they have been enslaved by marriage, if my woman don't want to have marriage, I'm not gonna force her into it. That was my whole explanation on talking on it. That's what I'm saying, because like based on what you were saying, because I'm in a different generation. Y'all said that they are more woken up into marriage and like what it is. That's what I'm saying. Like if I'm not going to force her into it, I like my woman to have an individuality anyway, like a little individuality. Like she don't depend on me for nothing, and she can go get it on her own. But we still in it to work together. That's what I'm saying. It was never no like I was gonna force her to do anything. If it is, it's gonna be. If it's not, it's not. That's what I was saying.
Ocean, are you?
Oh, somebody, I want to read this one comment. This was a good comment. Let me go back down. She said, oh shoot, never mind, because now a whole bunch of other comments. I'll come back.
Ocean is love. Are you there?
I am.
What's going on? Hey.
So I wanted to talk about the point. I want to touch on what Six Figure was talking about love and how love is a recent concept. And I think I told you about this, the psych hack guy. Mm-hmm. I think I sent you one of his videos a while back, a couple months ago, about how romance is for poor people. Mm-hmm. It's for the poor.
Yeah, I saw that.
And it was invented for poor people to trick them into marriage because the women would not marry the poor men because the men with the resources were the ones who had the pick of the litter. So they had to come up with a concept to.
I got it. There you go.
Okay. So they had to come up with a concept to get women and men on the poverty to marry, to keep the men in line, keep them from being destructive, similar to what we're having now, the loneliness, male crisis, with all these men upset because the women are not choosing them.
Yeah,
that's the reason why they're reversing all the rights of the women. But here's the other reason why marriage is definitely enslavement for women, because as you have said before, public, men have not even evolved to be fully functioning relationships that are supposed to be equitable, that are supposed to give women autonomy. That is not their mentality. That is not in their nature to do so. They are in survival mode. So whenever they capture a woman, whenever they are preying on women, because that is what they are doing, they are preying on women because they need women, even though they say that they don't. They need women so that they can use women for her resources, whatever those resources are to him. Even the resources that he doesn't even recognize are resources, he is benefiting from that woman. And so those are the reasons that marriage is enslavement, because women are being told one thing about men and how to believe
and trust that they are fully functioning whole human beings because they are men of a certain age, not knowing that they have not evolved in their humanity. Mm-hmm. We have been socially conditioned to take them in their lower nature. We have been conditioned to come down to their level and to accept their misogyny, to accept their patriarchy, to accept their abuses, even the subtle abuses. When we see those red flags in the beginning, we accept it because we've been conditioned to believe, oh, that's just a man being a man, and that's just men. That's just how men are. So we have been conditioned to accept these things, and when they evolve into the monster that they really are, at that point it's too late. We are entrapped, and that's why you see 70% of divorces being initiated by a woman. Yeah, because she's escaping. She's escaping at all costs. She is trying to get her life.
That's facts. That's facts. Nana, top 5 music. What's going on? Are you there, or did you accidentally request up? I thought she might have accidentally requested.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I guess I muted. Hello?
Yes.
All right. So the guy saying he's not gonna force his girlfriend to get married or whatever. We all know men, especially black men, have not been wanting to get married to begin with, right? So the benefit of marriage for women, the little benefit was, after all the years of being a wife slave, when the husband finally got unalived, at least his property and whatever labor she put in it, or if they got divorced and she gets alimony, whatever, at least through the institution of marriage, she would get something for her time. Now, if we're going to take away marriage, which I agree with, I want men to understand it's not going to come with any other benefits. It's not like you're going to get away with not having to make a commitment in marriage or spend money, but you're still going to expect the same wife-slave duties, just in a different way. So all the guys say, oh, yeah, we're fine with no marriage or whatever. You're not going to get her to cook, clean, give you schmacks, have your child that is going to carry your last name. Then if the child is going to carry her last name, it's not going to be your legacy. It's not going to be your last name. That if the child becomes like Obama, the name Obama is like the father's last name. Yeah. So whatever accomplishment the child has is under the father's last name. You're not going to get those benefits that were the little benefits that were created for women to even benefit from marriage. I think when you say no marriage, men think they're still going to get those benefits, except they don't have to create that they don't have to create the benefit that the woman is going to get, but they're going to get their benefit. And as we all know, men are never going to get into anything that they're not going to benefit from. So when you're saying no marriage, men should understand whatever else comes instead of the marriage, it's something that they are not going to benefit from. So if you're saying no marriage, that means you're not going to benefit smacks. Your baby mama is not going to cook for you. She's not going to clean for you. She's not going to have your kids and give them your last name. Or like, I don't know if what I'm saying makes sense, because a lot of them seem excited, like, oh, okay, finally, we never even wanted to marry them in the first place, and now you're bringing this topic, so hooray. But yeah, no, not hooray, because if you're gonna abolish marriage, then we need to abolish all the other benefits that you're gonna get from women. So now you don't get any benefits from women. Then let's see how excited or how happy they get in this whole that's great, because I know a lot of black men already they don't even want to get married, so they're happy about what you're saying. But as they're happy, subliminally, they're still expecting the benefits. Yeah. So in the world where you're not benefiting anything from women, then what is your relationship with women going to be like now?
100%. I appreciate that. Because I think, 100%. That's 100% right. I think that women, for marriage to be abolished, it would have to be the whole system would have to be abolished, essentially. You know what I'm saying? Like it couldn't just be like, you know, like this, like little, you know what I mean? Like little shit, like the whole thing would have to be abolished because women are still at a deficit in society economically. Women are still locked out of jobs and, you know what I mean? And being able to create wealth and all of that stuff on their own. It's way harder for women to do it than men. So definitely it would make sense. I mean, we would need to get rid of all of that stuff to actually abolish marriage and to make it make sense. You know what I mean? Because as of now, to your point, if we just say, okay, well, we're going to do away with marriage, but then the men are just going to be like humble Tay and be like, well, that's cool because I could just have me a long-term girlfriend, never commit, have a bunch of babies with her. You know what I'm saying? And then like whatever happens. Like, nah,
Right. They cool. They'd be happy about it while simultaneously fighting you about saying it. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, they don't want to say it out loud.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, no, that's not true.
Yeah.
But you happy about the fact that he's saying abolish it. So why are you fighting him about it?
Well, because men want to be like me running this prompt and the men pushing back. Like that's also proof that men are more interested in marriage than women. Because you ain't heard no women come up here and say, nah, I think marriage should, you know what I'm saying? Like all the women are like, yep, marriage, yep. I agree. The only people that are arguing against it are men. That's it. No, what like because men nowadays, men want marriage more than women do. They want marriage more than women do. Period, point blank. Do they want marriage more than they did 50 years ago? No. We know that. But they definitely want marriage more than women do now. Because they've been told, we have been told culturally, we have been told, as I'm saying men as a group, we've been told all the marvels of marriage, right? All the wonderment that comes along with being married. It's like, yeah, man, you know what I'm saying? You got you a nice wife, man. She gonna cook and clean. She gonna take care of you. Like, and even when men try to lie about that stuff, right? They still like, you know that men know that that's what's going on in a marriage. That most men believe that if they get married, they are going to benefit immensely from a wife. Most men believe that because to what Nana just said, or is it Nana or Nana? I'm sorry.
It's actually originally Nana.
Nana.
But
all right.
Yeah, you can pronounce it however you want.
Cool. Now I'll do Nana. I like that. I just want to make sure because Nana is what I call my mom. And
Grandma, yeah. Whenever I introduce myself and people, I'm like, oh, it's Nana, like a grandma, and they start laughing.
All right.
Just for you to remember it. Everybody got a grandma, so Nana.
Gotcha.
Nana. And yeah.
Yeah, but like you were saying though, exactly what you were saying though, to my point. Like it's just the men are gonna use it as hey, you know, like I don't want to get married, but I want to get all these benefits and all of that shit. They already know.
But another thing I want to say, I don't know why men would rather do everything else than the right thing. I don't get the logic of that. I don't get why they would rather go around, beat around the bush, drizzle, scream, kick, whatever, than just be a genuine person.
Oh, that's easy.
I don't get the logic.
That's super easy.
What?
That's super easy.
Okay.
White men don't want to do the right thing. It's the same reason why white tea people would rather, you know, like keep racism going, even though it hurts them too. Right?
Right.
Because the short-term benefits are so powerful, right? Because it's a thing that you can see, and it's harder for people to like play stuff out. Like people don't really have a lot of logic. Just generally speak, like as a culture, we don't. We're undereducated. You know, critical thinking is a learned skill that most people don't develop. So
common sense ain't common.
Yeah. Common sense also ain't real, but critical thinking is, right? Like you can't teach common sense, but you can teach critical thinking. And most people aren't capable of thinking critically because they haven't honed the skill, and they don't play everything out to its end, and they only see what's right in front of them. They only see the instant benefit in like, you know, like whatever it is, like the bad behavior, they only see the instant gratification they get in the bad behavior. And they get instant gratification, right? Like cheating. Like you cheat, you get instant gratification. You get the instant gratification of cheating, right? And then socially, you get the gratification, if you're a man, from all your boys. Oh man, you got another, oh shit, there, nigga, she bad. And you know what I'm saying? Like, you get that. Long term, pretty fucking toxic, pretty harmful to a person psychologically, emotionally, and you're hurting your partner, right? So, but we don't care. It's the right now. Men are very impulsive. We're really conditioned to be impulsive. We have that really bad. So our entitlement off the charts.
Tay just know he gonna cheat. That's why he don't want to get married.
I've never cheated though. This was crazy. I've never cheated.
You're only 18. I'm not saying you are, but you're only 18. So saying I never cheated is like, all right. Let's pump the brakes on that.
Like I've been in multiple relationships and like I'm being so 100. Like I've never cheated. I'm just saying like if it happens, it happens. I'm not gonna force nobody, but I'm gonna still love you. Like it's just.
What you mean if it happens, it happens? You mean if you cheat?
No, I'm not saying cheat. No, I'm not talking about cheating. I'm just talking about like the whole like the benefits before the marriage and stuff. Even all that. Like if it happens, it's gonna happen. It's love. Like if it happen, it happen. I'm not saying like I'm gonna cheat, but like because I've never cheated.
You only 18?
Yeah, I'm only 18. Yeah.
Oh, child. Okay. Exactly.
No.
I thought you was older. I did.
Yeah, a lot of people
say public.
Yes.
Remember when I sent you the message the other day about that dog?
About that dog? Hey, y'all just got to start talking. My memory is shit. Just start having a conversation like you ain't sent me nothing.
I sent you the link about the dog that the guys were jealous of. Remember?
Oh yeah. The woman taking care of the pit bulls. Yeah.
So I responded to, I don't know what you responded, but I said, listen, the crazy thing, you was like, yeah, I could see why they mad.
Yeah.
But then I was like, okay, but the thing is that women really want to be this to men. Like they really want to be this to men.
But see, you misinterpreted what I was saying. I was saying because she had a well of a tail. I was saying from how she looked, I could see why they mad. That I wasn't talking about how she was catering to the dogs. I was saying, I can see why they mad. Like, you never seen it? Oh yeah.
She normally don't show her body. She don't show nothing, just her hands.
Yeah.
So I don't know what
she showed her body in in a couple of them videos.
Oh, in that video she was showing. Okay.
I said, I see why they mad. Yeah, they just hating. Them niggas just jelly.
But even before she was, because she don't show her body like that. That's the thing. Even before she started showing her body, the guys were really, really jealous. They were jealous of all the love and attention that she was giving a dog. And I was like, well, women really do want to be that to men. It's like, why do y'all like I think Nana just said, why would you sabotage a good thing when all you have to do is straighten up and fly right? It's like women are ready. They're ready to be like, yeah, my man, but you acting a fool. You're not going to get that. So you just making it harder for yourself. Like, that's just dumb. It's stupid.
And I don't remember who was talking about women being brainwashed by, I think, movies and the romantic books. Again, I agree with that person. When women started getting freedom, you needed to give them another reason to be interested in marriage. Now, as a society, we can agree not everybody's going to go to college. Not everybody's going to buy a house. Not everybody's going to buy an expensive car. Not everybody's even going to finish high school. But everybody has to get married, and that is not logical. It's like we as a society all over the world, marriage is the one thing, rich, poor, short, tall. It's like you have to find someone, and even if every man and every woman lined up, all like the whole world, every man we all joined a long line, every woman joined a long line. The numbers wouldn't even allow for everyone to have a mate, literally speaking. But we have brainwashed, especially women, because we've made women be in love with love. Women are in love with love as a concept. And then the books and the movies create this, oh, I wish I could get that. Whatever Hugh Grant and Meg Ryan are having in this movie. Oh, that's so cute. Oh, I can't wait for the day that I have that. And again, someone else mentioned in the past, women way back in the day existed and lived their lives without the knowledge of romantic or romance, and they were able to live their lives. So why have we allowed these movies, obviously done by men, to brainwash us to the extent that marriage, which quickly sends us to our graves, we actually believe is good for us? That regardless of the statistics, regardless of the evidence, we're putting our hands into that fire. And I don't understand it. Recently, I was even trying to explain the whole last name, women taking men's last name and the history of it. Women were considered like we're the property of the man back when that thing started with women getting their husband's last name. And I was talking about how come that tradition hasn't been amended now that women are not considered property. How come women are blindly, because they want my man. I want him to change my last name so everybody sees that I'm married. And even when you're looking for the people you knew in high school, you can't even find them anymore because they're probably married, change your names, and you don't know what their name is. And what women don't realize is when you become famous for something, like a perfect example, Harriet Tubman. Her husband was against everything she stood for. And I get back then she didn't have the right to decide not to choose her husband's last name. But in as much as he was against what she stood for, till today, the name Tubman, which represented the man who did not want her to do what she did, is getting the glory and the fame. So it's like we're the level of, I think Public said a couple of days ago, the level of propaganda, the biggest lie that has ever been told is to convince women that marriage is for their glorification and it's for them. And it's so ingrained to the extent I don't even know if it could ever be reversed. I don't even know if women, because it becomes emotional. It's like, oh, I want people to know I also got a man. I can keep a man. Oh, I'm also wifed up, and all these words, and oh, I got the ring, I got wifed up. It has gotten to the extent, no matter how logically I try to explain it, they still don't get it. I'm sorry, Republic.
No, I was just saying, I think it definitely could be undone fairly easily, but we need, you know what I'm saying, we would need to do it. I think it could be undone in a generation. Just don't teach the new generation that bullshit. But it would be a systemic thing that we would need to address. It wouldn't be like, you know what I'm saying, like just like Nana be telling her daughter or whatever, like not to be like that. It would be like we would need to like really change, you know, everything, right? Like the patriarchy is founded on marriages, and you know what I mean, like that's a part of it. You know what I mean, like it needs it. It's a corner. It's a that's why it's an institution. Any institution is a cornerstone of, you know, it's an arm or a branch of the larger, you know, the tree or whatever, right? In this case, the tree would be the patriarchy. So it's a branch of the patriarchy without a doubt. Todd, I invited you up twice, brother. Just FYI. So if y'all see Todd yapping again, y'all go in and mute him. That's why I got that box open, just so y'all know. I got that open for. I got to keep it clear for the riffraff if they want to get up here and get to yapping.
But Public, you know, the pick-me's are gonna be one of the in this movement that you're talking about. They are gonna be. Sometimes I think they might even be more tougher to get over than the actual men. Because there are women who are willing to like stand with their lives to go against like the things that we talk about. And I personally know a lot of them.
A lot of pick-me's?
So, yeah, the pick-me's. They are even stronger than the men themselves. Like you would be surprised.
I wouldn't be that surprised. I've ran into a good amount of them. They wild with it.
Right. It's like, how can you free the slaves if the slaves themselves
don't want to be free?
And right. And it actually happened in the days of the slave. You know, when Harriet Tubman was trying to free them. some of them will be like, no, I want to go back. It saved my master, gives me 2 square meals a day, and it saved that he gave me a place to sleep. Why would I want to go on my own and work on my own to come up with my own food and whatever?
No.
So,
comfortable pressure.
Right.
Yeah.
But she had something for them too. If they tried to go back, she had something for them.
Because you couldn't go, you can't go back.
I remember that.
Yeah, you can't go back.
Yes, I remember that. Yeah, exactly.
Once you take the red pill, you can't wake up. Okay, ain't no blue pill, ain't nothing gonna put you back to sleep. You awake for life, nigga. But hey, man, I appreciate y'all coming up. I'm about to skedaddle, get about this thing. I appreciate everybody on the panel. Thanks for coming up, man. Yeah. We did it, yo. I had a little short live tonight, man. I'm tired. I ain't gonna even lie, y'all. I'm tired. My voice gone. We had a good time last night. We was out acting like some youngsters. Realized I was old. I ain't sick. I was yelling last night. You know when you be in the club or you be at a bar, I don't know what to call this place. It was a lounge, technically. But the music was loud as fuck. And I'm talking to the homie. You know what I'm saying? We chopping it up all night, but you gotta, yeah, and then that, we yelling at each other all night trying to have a conversation. So now my voice is gone. Even worse than it was before. Appreciate you. Shout out to all the super chatters, man. Everybody that made the Cash App, man. I love y'all. Hit the Cash App on one time on the way out. Antoine said, we did all of that. I'm tripping. Antoine, Osa, Teresa, to Nigel, Eat, Pray, Yoga, Fuck Patriarchy, Andrea, and Tams. I appreciate y'all. For real, man. Go check out the new videos we got up over there on the YouTubes. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Wash your ass. Stay clean. You know what I'm saying? Eat, pray, sleep, whatever y'all niggas need to do, man. I'm out. I'll see y'all tomorrow, though. We're going to be back in this thing.